And I want to pass you over to the best men for their speech. But I would like you all to bear in mind that they are notorious in the Manchester area for being pathological liars. So if you could just bear with them and laugh a bit. Enjoy your day, because I know I will now. Thank you.
Thanks, Nick. I was expecting a few more tears there, but... Once again, I'd like to very much welcome everybody to Nick and Catherine's wedding. It's good, if not a little bit surprising, to see so many people at Nick's wedding. And it's great to see so many old faces and some recognisable faces from Vegas. But don't worry, girls, I'm sure Bath was a good time too. For those of you that don't know, myself and Andy are brothers of the groom. And we always knew it was fortunate to be Nick's brother, but could never quite put our finger on it until he asked us to be best man and we got to write this speech.
Yeah, so as Chris said, because we are in fact brothers of... tell me your name again? Because we are Nick's brothers, we feel it's our duty to protect the good home's name that you, Catherine, have just married into. So it's with deep regret that this speech will not contain any details of Nick's previous coming-of-age misdemeanours and conquest with the fairer sex. If truth be told, if that was the primary content of this speech, we won't be stood here for very long. Instead, we'd like to give you an account through a younger brother's eyes of how this man has managed to achieve the impossible dream of marrying Catherine here, or Eleanor to her friends. So sleek, so stylish, so radiant with charisma. That's what you said, yeah? But before we get into that, I'd just like to take this opportunity to mention these beautiful bridesmaids. Thank you for doing a great job in dragging Catherine to the altar today. You're not meant to look as good as the bride, and let's face it, you don't. But you're pretty damn close.
Okay, so I feel it's a duty to just let you know who we're talking about here. To his new father-in-law, Michael, is Nicholas. No, too early, Tom. Third time, Tom, I told you. Third time. It's second.
Tom, let's count.
I don't know how he made it through his bidding prayer, I really don't. So to his new father-in-law, it's Nicholas. To Nick, his mate, and that was corrected, is singular. To his childhood nickname is Sharky. His Hollywood nickname, and from his favourite film, which he quoted before, is Albert Benjamin. To associate with our new friends here in the south, I believe everyone calls him Arch. 32 years ago now, I believe, in a land up north, Nicholas came into the world. I'm led to believe he was the sweetest, most well-mannered boy that anyone had ever seen. It wasn't until a few years later he was joined by two fantastic brothers and he had to share the limelight and affections of Steve and Dan. As the most common phrase soon became, at least the other two aren't as ugly as the first one.
Growing up as the youngest, I always got the impression that Nick was born a year or so before his time. Throughout his school years, he just missed the technology boom of mobile phones. So after school, while Chris and I were texting friends or playing Snake 2, Nick would be dusting down the old chessboard, playing another game against himself, and he always won. In fact, in later years, he'd reminisce to us about how mobile phones changed the way people used to go out. When I was in college, he'd say, we'd arranged to meet in the Peel at 8 o'clock, and if you weren't there, we just moved on. I always assumed he told that story because he got there at 8:15 and everyone had moved on.
So Nick wasn't often early to social occasions, and that's purely because of the length of time he spent pruning himself in front of the mirror. I would see it all go on. There'd be a lick of Brill cream, a quick scrape of the razor, even though I think he struggles with that now, and a big splash of Stevie's finest Paco Rabanne. There was was even a concealer phase at one point, but I think he grew out of that one when he realised the size of the challenge he had on his hands. But this was all done before he slips himself into the now infamous purple shirt. Couldn't let it go. This thing, it was nothing special. It's a short sleeve Burton number. It was worn to every social occasion bar none. Nick used to call it his lucky shirt, although I was never sure why, because we never called it his pulling shirt. As is often the norm at college back in Bury, we were out Thursday, Friday, Saturday night. And each night, the purple shirt was washed, ironed, and ready for another run out. And I'd just like to raise a toast to Diane for actually doing that every night, because it was no mean feat. As a young 16-year-old boy myself, heading out on the town with his legend of an older brother, or so he used to tell me, I got the standard pep talk from my dad of don't come back with anyone up the duff. One rule and one rule only. But after the usual 5 taboo vadoos and an absinthe in Ronnie's, I quickly realised that Stevie didn't have anything to worry about, as Nico was the only contraception I was ever going to need.
But it wasn't until Nick got his first car that his social status erupted. Thanks to the almost antique-like Ford Escort, colloquially known as the Black Panther. The Panther changed many a life back in Bury. With free lifts everywhere, the lads loved it. And the ladies, well, they couldn't stop laughing at it. I like the one when he was on one of his drive-bys through Bury Town Centre and the exhaust fell off. Not perturbed by the situation, he simply took his belt off his chinos and without giving a mark on the purple shirt, went under the car and tied the exhaust back on. And in truth be told, while he was down there, the belt was that big he could have strapped a suitcase to the roof. As you can probably tell by now, it didn't take Nick long to realise he was far too cool for Bury. So he took himself off to college in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. I think, again, to protect the good home's name, I won't detail the apparent goings on at Mardi Gras, or the day he was nearly shot by his sponsored parents. But one memory I'll always have of your time in America was when you moved back and 3 of your American friends came to stay. These guys from the deep south of America hadn't even left the state, they didn't have passports before they came here. But here they were on our doorstep in Ramsbottom, freezing cold, clothes for every eventuality and the biggest bottles of barbecue sauce and tomato ketchup you've ever seen. Needless to say, they were relieved to find out that we also had ketchup over here. And after a few weeks of sampling the delights of the UK, they were changed men. So much so that when they left, they had to leave a lot of the clothes behind as they'd repacked the suitcases full of cans of Stella and Red Bull.
After his escapades in the deep south, it didn't take Nick long to get itchy feet again. So off he went to Australia. Only this time he had a partner in crime. His old Sunday school buddy, lifelong friend, Carlo Balsamo, also known as Usher number 2. They worked particularly hard to save up for this trip, and I'll let you tell them about it later, but you just need to ask yourselves what happens when you put a blowtorch in front of 2 idiots in a cotton factory in Ramsbottom. I'm pretty sure that one's still on a cold case at Bury Arson Unit. A lot of the trip down under was spent in laughter with Carlo's uncle and his family. Unfortunately, the Griffins can't be here today, but Phil being Phil, he wanted to have the last word.
Hope you're having a lovely day. Wish we could be there to join in the celebrations with you.
Congratulations, Nick and Catherine. Wish we could be there, as Elaine said, but obviously not. I've just escaped from COVID. It's a bit different last time, Nick. Yeah, it's full Millwall now, mate. So we're halfway through the best man speech. Just wanted to get a story of Nick in Australia. Who wants to kick this off? I've got on. Well, I didn't know Nick before he came to Australia. I only knew that other reprobate, Carlo. But this guy turned up and I've got to admit, it was scary. One of the most athletic of blokes, that's all. I remember talking about athletics. We did have a game of tennis one day, and Carlo, you probably remember this. And Nick told us how good he was, and I thought, well, let's test him out. And we took a few tennis rackets up to the courts, and do you remember that, Nick?
Yeah.
You're a crap. He didn't feel well and all this sort of stuff, but I'll be honest, mate, all we had to do was just drop the ball out of your head, and that was it. And anyway, he snapped the dummy, if you remember, and went up to the shop, bought about 5 litres of Gatorade, came back, by the time he got back, I'd kicked Carlo's ass. So I'll put you on to Elaine. Have you got any stories about Nick that you'd like to tell?
Not many, but just that Amy, I don't know, for some reason was really terrified of Nick. Such a gentle giant. But when they Carlo and Nick stayed with us, Amy ended up sleeping outside our bedroom because she couldn't dare to be in the nursery room. For some reason, I don't know, I was just very, very scared of him. Things have changed now, haven't they?
Oh yeah, it's a gentle giant, Nick is.
She needs to ask Catherine whether things have changed.
We've heard a lot about you, Catherine. It's all lovely. So, but we'd just like to raise our glasses to you all and hope that today isn't the happiest day of your life, but the start of many happy days together. So, all the best.
Live from down under. Okay, well, we're talking about absent friends. I've actually got a few notes of apology from people who couldn't be here today. If you don't mind, give me a moment, I'll read those out. Congratulations on your wedding today. I hope Nick got to the church in one piece and didn't lose his cufflinks on the way. We wish you all the best for the future and hope you have a very happy and healthy life together. Best wishes, Craig, Katie, Enzo and Florence Allenson. Thanks for the cake. Another one. Dear Nick, congratulations on your special day. You have changed my life since the day I met you. I was a man of humble means and struggled to support my family. But the continued and remarkably consistent support that you have given me over the last few years has been the sole reason for my change in fortune and wealth. I thank God every day for bringing you into my life. Touching words there from Miguel. Now Marbella's richest iPhone seller. Could go on. There's another one from his brother Raphael. He sells golf balls. Raphael's girlfriend works on commission in the sunglasses shop.
So you may be starting to think that being Nick's brother is a laugh a minute, and to be fair, we do laugh at him quite a lot. But after all, we've had to live through many of the alter egos. I think Dom introduced us to the first one as the sniper.
The dolphin trainer was one.
Big Shot.
He now goes by El Tiburon, which is Spanish for Sharky.
And then there was the time he thought he'd impress some ladies in Manchester City Centre by trying to walk on a fountain. I'm pretty sure he's still got the scars from that one. And as the speech progresses, I'm pretty sure we're getting an insight into why there's no more sexual conquest in this speech. But there are serious moments too, and he takes his big brother role very seriously. As I boarded a plane for Canada, he handed me this very envelope, looked me in the eye, and said, "If you're ever in trouble with the ladies, Chris, watch this." And as I look around the room, I can see Si and Laurie definitely benefited from this. And Hitch has got me through many a tough problem.
Now you may have noticed that none of these memories include girlfriends, and no, we're not trying to protect you anymore, Catherine. In an otherwise charmed and adventurous existence, Nick has always missed somebody to love and to love him. He believed in a love so great that not just any girl will do. He wanted the best, yet could never find it until he moved to Marbella. That day when he calls tells he had a girlfriend, we just presumed he was still pissed from another session. But alas, Snow and Catherine came into our lives. Having achieved so much in so many different parts of the world, he's finally found what he's been looking for. And it's for that reason that makes us both so proud to be your brother, and now yours too, Catherine.
So without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, it gives me the greatest pleasure to ask you to be upstanding and join in toasting our brother and sister, the bride and groom. Thank you very much.